Welcome inside the CitrusTV studios for a Webisode edition of No Pulp with Chloe Smarz. I'm Carson Fowler. We're talking the biggest game in college football this week. The third-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions hosting the fourth-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes on Saturday at noon. Chloe, Penn State potentially without its starting quarterback in Drew Allar. How much of a factor would his absence be in this game?
Well, obviously, if you're Penn State, you want Drew Allar to start, right? He knows the system well. He's comfortable with this offense. And not to knock what Bo Perdula did, but you want Drew Allar, right? However, hot take here, I don't necessarily think it matters who plays quarterback for Penn State this weekend because this game will be determined by the Penn State wideout group. The biggest issue for Ohio State on defense comes in their secondary, more specifically in their cornerbacks. Denzel Burke has not been consistent these past few games, and they induce a lot of penalties, holdings, and pass interference calls. If I'm Penn State, someone like a Julian Fleming, who, by the way, played at Ohio State before he came over to Penn State, use that to your advantage, make them beat themselves. That will help out Penn State, Carson. But Ohio State, they're looking good too.
Yeah, Buckeyes have won 7 in a row against the Nittany Lions going all the way back to 2016. And I feel like every year we say that it's Penn State's year against Ohio State. And I kind of feel like it might be their year. Ohio State has just looked out of rhythm their last 2 games. I mean, you beat Nebraska by less than a single score at home when you were a 25-plus point favorite going into that game.
To me, though, it falls all back on Ryan Day. And this has been his issue being the head coach at Ohio State. He always just seems to fall off in the second half of games towards the end of the season. I point the blame on him and his ability to not use Will Howard more in this offense, especially in the run game with their issues on their offensive line. If they don't use him, especially even pushing the ball downfield, the 2 times they did that against Nebraska were 2 touchdowns.
Clay, Ohio State potentially out of the college football playoff if they lose that game?
I mean, their chances are not good if they lose that game. You obviously have Oregon, and you have Penn State coming out of the Big Ten. It's a must-win game for both teams, I would say, Carson.
I agree with you. Well, that'll pretty much do it on our No Pulp Webisode. Please stick around for the full show later on YouTube.